Welcome to the Calm and Clarity podcast. I'm India, and here we share insights and strategies to help you live with calm and lead with clarity. If you find this helpful, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Let's dive in.
Okay, so picture this. The house is finally quiet, your head hits the pillow, and you feel that wave of exhaustion. Finally. But then, maybe an hour later, maybe two, bam! It's the 3 a.m. enemy. You know exactly what I mean. Your brain just flips a switch, and suddenly it's showtime for the worry reel. Everything you possibly did wrong today or yesterday or maybe 10 years ago, and all the things that could go completely catastrophically wrong tomorrow. It's just relentless.
It really is. And it's not just in your head, is it?
Oh, no way. Your heart starts pounding out of your chest. Maybe your jaw clenches up tight. You feel restless.
Yeah.
But you're just lying there, completely still, feeling like you just ran a marathon. How many nights have you lost just staring at the ceiling, checking the clock, doing that awful sleep math? Okay, if I fall asleep right now...
I can still get 4 hours and 23 minutes. Yeah. Which, of course, just ramps up the stress even more.
Exactly. It's incredibly frustrating. But here's the thing we really need you to hear right off the bat. You're not broken. You're not weak for feeling this way. And trust me, you are so not alone.
Absolutely. That shared experience is huge. When we looked at the research you sent over, it's crystal clear. This isn't some kind of personal failure. It's physiology. It's your system getting its wires crossed, basically. So our mission today in this deep dive is to really unpack why this happens, the brain science behind it, and then pull out some really practical, evidence-based strategies, lifelines, really, things you can actually use to start reclaiming your nights.
Lifelines. I like that.
Yeah.
Because honestly, when you're stuck in that cycle, it does feel like you're sinking, like quicksand. Okay, we've got a lot to cover, from breathing tricks to brain chemistry.
Yeah.
So let's unpack this. Where do we start? The nervous system.
Yeah, let's start right there with the biology, because understanding that helps explain why you feel so completely wired when all you want is to wind down. Think of your nervous system having two main settings. There's the gas pedal, that's your sympathetic nervous system, it's your fight or flight response. And then there's the brake, the parasympathetic system. That's your rest and digest, calm down mode.
Okay, gas and brake. Got it.
So, nighttime anxiety, especially that kind that jolts you awake around 3 a.m., that's your body slamming on the gas pedal right when the brake should be fully pressed down. You're getting flooded with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. The research points out it's kind of an evolutionary mismatch, right? Your body thinks there's a tiger outside the cave.
But really, the tiger's just an email I forgot to reply to, or that awkward thing I said at work.
Exactly. Or maybe nothing specific at all, just this free-floating dread.
Something fascinating that came up in the material was why 3 a.m. seems to be such a common time for this. It's not just random, is it?
No, it's not random at all, and that's a really key point from the sources. Most people actually have a natural small surge in cortisol around 2 to 4 a.m. It's part of the body's normal process to gently start preparing you to wake up a few hours later.
Okay.
But if you're already prone to anxiety, your brain can misinterpret that completely normal hormonal nudge. It feels that cortisol spike and goes, uh-oh, danger, alert, time to worry about everything.
So the body does its normal thing, but the anxious brain sounds the alarm anyway.
Precisely. And that kicks off that vicious feedback loop, the quicksand cycle you mentioned. You wake up, you feel anxious, then you start stressing about not sleeping.
Which makes you more anxious.
Which releases more stress hormones.
Which makes sleep even less likely. And suddenly your bed, which should feel safe, feels like a battleground.
That's a perfect description. It becomes associated with frustration and failure. So a big part of this is breaking that negative association. And we can start small, tonight even, with something always available to you, your breath.
Right, the breath. It sounds simple, maybe too simple.
Well, it's simple but powerful. It's your immediate anchor. Because breathing is one of the few automatic bodily functions we can actually take conscious control of to send a message back to our nervous system. When you feel that tightness in your chest, that shallow breathing, you can interrupt the stress cascade just by changing how you inhale and, crucially, how you exhale.
Okay, let's get practical. The sources mention a couple of specific techniques, the 4-7-8-1.
Yes, the 4-7-8 technique, often linked with Dr. Andrew Weil. The research really backs this up, especially the exhale part. So you inhale quietly through your nose for a count of 4. You hold your breath gently for a count of 7. And then this is the key part. You exhale completely through your mouth, making a quiet whoosh sound for a count of 8.
8 seconds out. That feels quite long.
It does, and that's the point. That extended exhale is one of the quickest non-drug ways to stimulate your vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is like the main highway for your brake system, the parasympathetic nervous system.
So you're literally telling your body, it's okay, you're safe, stand down.
Exactly. You're sending a direct physiological signal. Stop preparing for battle.
That makes sense. Understanding the why behind it makes it feel less like just breathing advice.
Yeah.
But when you're really spinning out at 3 a.m., counting might feel like a lot.
It absolutely can, which is why another excellent, perhaps even simpler option is box breathing. Box breathing gives your system a very steady, predictable rhythm, which can be incredibly calming when your thoughts feel chaotic. It's all equal counts, usually 4. So you inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, in, hold, out, hold.
Like drawing a square with your breath.
Exactly. That predictability itself is soothing. It helps override the erratic breathing pattern that often comes with anxiety.
And one of the articles pointed out something I love. These are like your secret weapons, right? No one needs to know you're doing them. In bed, sure, but also, maybe before a big meeting, stuck in traffic.
Absolutely. Totally portable, totally invisible. But anxiety isn't just breathing and thoughts, is it? It lives in the body, too, that tension.
Oh, yeah. The clenched jaw, the tight shoulders, that restless leg feeling.
Precisely. We often carry around so much physical tension without even realizing it. It just becomes our default state. That's where progressive muscle relaxation, or PMR, comes in handy. PMR is all about contrast. You systematically tense specific muscle groups, hold it for maybe 5 seconds, not painfully, just tightly, and then you consciously fully release that tension.
You work your way up the body.
Yeah, typically starting with your toes and feet, then moving up through your calves, thighs, glutes, abdomen, chest, hands, arms, shoulders, neck, face. Tensing, then releasing. The real magic isn't the tensing part, it's the release. For people who live with chronic anxiety, that feeling of true physical relaxation can actually feel unfamiliar. They're so used to being subtly braced all the time.
So PMR helps you actually recognize what calm feels like in your body again.
Exactly. It gives you that tangible difference, that aha moment of, oh, this is what relaxed feels like. And that can significantly reduce that nighttime restlessness and tension pain.
Okay, so we've got tools for the breath, tools for the body tension. Now, what about the main event for many people, the racing thoughts? The brain just insisting on replaying that embarrassing thing from 2015 or catastrophizing about the presentation next week.
Right, we need to address the mental noise directly. And a core technique from cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, or CBTI, is cognitive reframing. It's about learning to be a gentle but firm editor of your own internal monologue.
Gentle but firm editor. I like that framing. But let's be honest, at 3 a.m., feeling gentle or firm seems miles away. I usually just feel desperate. How do you actually do that editing when you're feeling overwhelmed?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's not about arguing with the thought or trying to force it away, because we know that just makes it stronger. It's about creating distance. A key concept here is cognitive diffusion. So instead of getting caught up in the thought like, I'll never get back to sleep, tomorrow's ruined, you label it. You say to yourself, okay, I'm having the thought that I might not get back to sleep easily. Or there's that tomorrow will be a disaster thought again.
So you're acknowledging it, but not buying into it as absolute truth.
Exactly. You see it as just mental content, like clouds passing in the sky. You notice it, name it, worry cloud, but you don't have to climb onto it. It creates a little bit of space between you and the thought.
That makes sense. Creating space. And related to managing those thoughts, the source is heavily recommended worry journaling. Seems almost too simple.
It does seem simple, but it's a powerful behavioral cue. The key is how you do it. Keep a small, dedicated notebook and maybe a dim pen light, definitely not your phone by the bed. When the worries start swirling, you physically write them down. Get it all out of the to-do list items, the fears, the anxieties, whatever's bugging you. Just dump it onto the page. And then this is crucial. You physically close the notebook. That action sends a signal to your brain. Okay, concerns noted. We'll deal with these during business hours, not now. It helps offload that mental burden.
Like telling your brain, got it, log, we'll circle back tomorrow.
Pretty much, yeah. But sometimes, even after journaling, the mind still feels buzzy. You need to give it something else to focus on, something peaceful. That's where guided imagery can be really helpful.
Creating a mental escape room.
Kind of. Instead of wrestling with the anxious thoughts, you actively redirect your mental energy towards constructing a detailed, calming scene in your mind. A peaceful beach, a cozy cabin, a forest path. Whatever feels genuinely soothing to you. And you engage all your senses in your imagination. What does it look like? What sounds are there? What does the air smell like? What does the sun or the breeze feel like on your skin? It's the notebook. That action sends a signal to your brain. Okay, concerns noted. We'll deal with these during business hours, not now. It helps offload that mental burden.
Like telling your brain, got it, logged, we'll circle back tomorrow.
Pretty much, yeah. But sometimes, even after journaling, the mind still feels buzzy. You need to give it something else to focus on, something peaceful. That's where guided imagery can be really helpful.
Creating a mental escape room.
Kind of. Instead of wrestling with the anxious thoughts, you actively redirect your mental energy towards constructing a detailed, calming scene in your mind. A peaceful beach, a cozy cabin, a forest path. Whatever feels genuinely soothing to you. And you engage all your senses in your imagination. What does it look like? What sounds are there? What does the air smell like? What does the sun or the breeze feel like on your skin? You become the director of this peaceful mental movie.
And the science behind this, does imagining it actually do anything physically?
It absolutely does. Research in psychoneuroimmunology shows that your nervous system responds to vividly imagined experiences almost as if they were real. So immersing yourself in that peaceful imagery can actually help slow your heart rate, deepen your breathing, and trigger that relaxation response, the brake pedal we talked about.
Wow. So your brain can sort of trick your body into calming down.
In a way, yes. It's harnessing the mind-body connection constructively.
Okay, another tool often mentioned alongside this stuff is mindfulness. But sometimes that feels a bit vague, like just be present. What does that actually look like at 3 a.m.? It's definitely not about trying to empty your mind, because that feels impossible.
Absolutely not about emptying the mind. That's a common misconception and just leads to frustration. Mindfulness, especially in this context, is about gently bringing your attention to the present moment without judgment, noticing what's actually happening right now, rather than getting lost in past regrets or future worries.
So how do you do that when your brain feels like it's time traveling?
A really practical grounding technique is the 5-4-3-2-1 exercise. It uses your senses to anchor you right here, right now. You mentally, or even whisper quietly, name 5 things you can see around you, even if it's just shapes in the dark. 4 things you can physically feel, the texture of the sheets, the weight of the blanket, the pillow. 3 things you can hear, the hum of the fridge, your own breathing, maybe traffic outside. 2 things you can smell, laundry detergent on the pillowcase, maybe nothing distinct, that's okay. And 1 thing you can taste, even just the lingering taste of toothpaste, or the inside of your mouth.
Ah, okay, so it forces your attention away from the swirling thoughts and onto immediate sensory input.
Exactly. It breaks that pattern of mental time travel and brings you back to the reality of the present moment, which is usually much less threatening than the scenarios your anxious mind is inventing.
Right. Okay, so we have these immediate anchors, these mental tools, but what about the bigger picture, the foundation? The sources talked a lot about environment and routine.
Yes, because even the best mental toolkit can struggle if your sleep environment and daily rhythms are working against you. We have to look at the stage setting, so to speak.
Your bedroom needs to feel like a sanctuary, a safe haven, not the scene of the nightly struggle.
Precisely. It needs to signal rest to your brain. And the research is pretty specific on the key environmental factors. Number 1, temperature. Keep it cool. The ideal range seems to be somewhere between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 15 to 19 Celsius.
Cooler than many people think.
Definitely. Your body temperature naturally drops to initiate sleep, so a cool room helps that process along. Number 2, darkness. As dark as possible. Invest in blackout curtains if you have street lights or early dawn light interfering. Cover up any little LED lights on electronics.
And quiet, or maybe consistent sound.
Yeah, either quiet or consistent, low-level sound. A white noise machine or a fan can mask sudden noises that might jolt you awake. And then, comfort. Obvious but important good pillows, comfortable bedding.
Let's talk about weighted blankets too. They seem to be more than just a cozy trend now.
They really are. The sources highlighted the science behind them. It's called deep touch pressure stimulation. That gentle, distributed weight across your body mimics the feeling of being held or swaddled.
Like a hug.
Exactly. And that physical sensation activates the parasympathetic nervous system, our friend the brake pedal, helping to lower cortisol and promote feelings of calm and security. It's a surprisingly effective physical tool for anxiety.
Okay, environment sorted. What about our internal clock? The circadian rhythm.
Crucial. You can't really hack evolution on this one. Your body has an internal clock that's strongly influenced by light and darkness. This is the light-dark dance. You need bright light exposure fairly soon after waking up in the morning. Ideally, get outside for even 10-15 minutes or sit near a bright window. This helps anchor your rhythm and signals clearly, okay, daytime has begun.
And the flip side is managing light in the evening, the digital sunset.
Yes. This is huge. The blue light emitted from phones, tablets, computers, even TVs directly suppresses the production of melatonin, your natural sleep hormone. So you need to create a digital sunset. Put those devices away at least 60, preferably 90 minutes before your intended bedtime. Dim the lights in your house. Read a physical book, listen to calm music, take a warm bath. Signal to your brain that the day is winding down.
And please, charge your phone outside the bedroom.
Please, that temptation to just check one more thing is lethal to winding down. Social media, news, email, those are activating. They put your brain on alert. Use a separate, simple alarm clock if you need one.
Alongside the light management comes consistency. This came up again and again.
It's the bedrock. Going to bed and, perhaps even more importantly, waking up around the same time every single day, yes, even on weekends. As much as possible, anchors your circadian rhythm like nothing else.
It makes your body's natural sleep drive much more predictable and reliable.
Exactly. Your body learns when to expect sleep and starts preparing for it automatically. Which leads us to a really critical behavioral rule, especially if the bed has become that anxiety battleground.
The 20-minute rule.
Yes. If you're lying in bed, unable to sleep, feeling anxious or frustrated, and about 20 minutes have passed, don't clock watch obsessively, just estimate, you need to get out of bed.
Get up. Even though you want to sleep.
Yes. Get up, go to another room, keep the lights very dim, and do something quiet and boring. Read a dull book, a physical book, fold laundry, listen to very calm music, no screens.
And you only go back to bed when?
Only when you actually start to feel sleepy again. Then you go back to bed. If you don't fall asleep fairly quickly, or if you wake up again and can't get back to sleep after 20 minutes, you repeat the process. Get up again.
It sounds counterintuitive, maybe even tiring.
It can be initially, but it's incredibly effective. This is a core part of stimulus control therapy. You are retraining your brain, breaking that association between bed and being awake and anxious. You want your brain to learn that the bed is only for sleep and intimacy, nothing else. Not for worrying, not for scrolling, not for tossing and turning.
Retraining the brain. Okay, so environment, rhythm, stimulus control. What about the physical fuel? Does what we eat actually impact this 3 a.m. anxiety?
Absolutely. We can't separate mind and body here. Your brain's functioning, including its ability to regulate mood and anxiety, depends heavily on the nutrients you provide.
Okay, give us some highlights from the research.
Well, magnesium is a big one. We often think of it for muscle relaxation, which is true, but its role in calming the nervous system is key. It helps regulate neurotransmitters and can kind of dampen that gas pedal excitability in the brain. Lots of people are deficient.
Where do we find magnesium?
Leafy greens, nuts, seeds, whole grains, dark chocolate. Supplementation might be needed for some, but best discussed with a doctor.
Okay, what else?
Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fatty fish like salmon or in flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts. These fats, especially DHA and EPA, are crucial structural components of brain cells and help reduce inflammation, which is linked to anxiety and depression.
So good fats for a calmer brain. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And movement.
Yeah, it's daily movement. Doesn't have to be intense exercise. Even just a brisk walk helps burn off excess cortisol and adrenaline, the stress hormones. It gives them a physical outlet so they're not just swirling around internally when you're trying to sleep.
Okay, physical foundations. What about things like herbal teas? Chamomile, lavender. Those always come up. Do they really work?
They can be very helpful, yes. Chamomile, lavender, valerian root, these have been used for centuries for calming and sleep support. But the sources suggest thinking about them less as potent sedatives and more as powerful ritual cues.
The ritual itself is important.
Hugely important. The simple act of mindfully brewing a cup of non-caffeinated tea, like chamomile, smelling the aroma warmth of the mug, that whole sensory experience signals to your body and mind, okay, the day is done, time to transition to rest.
Like creating a little ceremony around winding down.
Exactly. Similarly, a little lavender essential oil on the pillowcase can become a learned scent cue for relaxation. These herbal allies work best when they're part of a consistent, calming bedtime routine, reinforcing the other practices we've discussed.
All right. Now, what if someone listening has tried a lot of these things, maybe consistently, but the nighttime anxiety is still really impacting their life? When is it time to seek more help?
That's a really important question. If this anxiety and insomnia are chronic, persistent, and significantly affecting your daytime functioning, your mood, your health, it's absolutely time to seek professional support. The gold standard non-drug treatment, mentioned repeatedly in the research, is CBTI, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy for Insomnia. It's a structured program delivered by trained therapists that specifically targets the thoughts and behaviors that perpetuate insomnia and sleep anxiety. It's highly effective.
So ask your doctor about CBTI therapists.
Yes, and also see your doctor for a general medical checkup. It's important to rule out any underlying physical conditions that could be contributing to sleep disruption, things like thyroid issues, restless leg syndrome, vitamin deficiencies, or even sleep apnea, which can cause you to wake up abruptly and trigger anxiety.
Right, rule out the physical stuff first.
Always a good step.
Okay, this has been incredibly comprehensive. I think one of the most crucial takeaways, though, is that this isn't usually a quick fix, right? Recovery isn't always a straight line.
Oh, absolutely essential to emphasize. You will have good nights and bad nights. You'll implement these strategies, things will improve, and then maybe you'll have a setback. That is completely normal. The goal isn't perfection overnight. It's about building your own personalized toolkit, trying different techniques, seeing what resonates with you, maybe keeping a simple sleep journal to track what helps and what doesn't, and celebrating the progress. Maybe you still woke up, but you felt less panicked, or you used a breathing technique and got back to sleep faster. Those are real wins.
It sounds like the overall journey is about patiently teaching your nervous system how to find its way back to balance, how to self-regulate again.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It's learning to soothe yourself from the inside out, with compassion for the nights when it feels hard.
And maybe hold on to this thought too. You have survived every single night you've ever experienced. Every single one. That's proof of your resilience right there. This nighttime anxiety doesn't define who you are. And maybe, just maybe, that sensitivity, that hyperwiredness that feels like a curse at 3 a.m., maybe it's not entirely a flaw. Maybe that deep awareness, once you learn to manage it, is connected to empathy, creativity, intuition. Parts of you that are actually strengths in the daylight. So, thinking about everything we've unpacked today, what's one thing from this new toolkit you might choose to explore tonight? Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We genuinely hope these insights help bring you quieter nights and more peaceful rest.
Thank you for joining us today on the Calm and Clarity podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow, subscribe, and share it with someone who would love it too. I'm Desmond, and until next time, keep growing, keep grounding yourself, and keep living with calm and clarity. We'll see you in the next episode.